So check them out here now while we got a couple of minutes. It's vidyard.link/Sandler. I'll post Mike Montague, Global Head of Content at Sandler Training. We're proud to host the webinar today with one of our partners here. They are Vidyard, and what they are is a video hosting platform that allows you to easily create and share videos. So you can do that for a lot of different reasons. It could be marketing, it could be sales, it could be prospecting, it could be internal messages and training, but an easy way to create a video and put it into an email or share it out with your team through a link. Lots of good stuff. And then if you don't know us here at Sandler, I imagine that most of you do, but we're the world's largest sales training organization. We do sales and management training for companies all the way from individuals in our local offices, over 250 of those, up to Fortune 500 companies around the world in 19 different languages and something like 25 plus countries. And we train a lot of people a year. So we do webinars like this when we collect best practices, and we've all been using video to sell for the last, it's certainly the last 10 months, but some of us even longer than that. Vidyard was on the game before COVID started, and some of us doing that here too. But share those best practices with you, and that's what it's all about. We wanted to bring Tyler on because he's an expert, the chief video strategist at Vidyard, to talk to us about how people are best using video in their prospecting, in their sales, and their internal communication, so that we can all make the most of it and have a little bit easier time with sharing ourselves on video. So take it away, Tyler, get us started here and tell us what you're at and what you've been up to.
Fantastic. Well, thank you, Mike, and welcome everyone. Glad to see all the chatter. Please continue to drop notes in there. And if you have any questions throughout, drop them into the chat, drop them into the Q&A, and we'll try to get to those as we go. But as Mike mentioned, I am here from Vidyard, where I've been spending the last 7 years working with businesses, big and small, B2B, B2C, on how they use video as part of their go-to-market activities. And over the last 2 years, and particularly over the last 9 months, we have seen this phenomenal acceleration in the use of video, not just in marketing, but in sales. And I'm not just talking about live video calls. I'm not talking about Zoom. We all get Zoom. We all get WebEx. We all get Teams. I'm talking about video as a consumable offline medium. I'm talking about sellers becoming video creators, right? As wacky as that sounds, the idea of recording and sending quick custom videos with your webcam, with your screen share, to connect with a prospect, to educate a potential buyer, to say thank you in a more personal and human way than just sending the plain old crappy email. And that's the stuff that really gets me fired up. And we're seeing sellers increase their response rates. We're seeing them shorten deal cycles. We're seeing them close more by adding that human element back into sales, but also by rethinking how it is they connect with customers with this power of video. So we are going to hop right into that here. And I'm going to share with you all sorts of really tactical examples about what you can be doing today and some of the best practices we're seeing from the community. Now, I want to set the stage with a little bit of the problem that we're all trying to solve here with video, because, video is great as a way to connect with people, but there are a bunch of different challenges that video is uniquely capable of helping you solve in this really, I think, difficult digital-only world that a lot of us are in. A few of the reasons I see sellers starting to think more creatively about the use of video are up here on the screen. First, as we all know, it is hard. Like, it's hard to connect with people and email and social, over the phone, when we can't be there in person, we can't stand out. The chart on the right-hand side is from the folks at HubSpot, where they analyze all the activity through their system, all the sellers using their platform, all the marketers. And they've published data on the trends since COVID hit last year to see what's changed, what's happened. And the bad news is, if you look at the numbers here, the way the chart works is that compared to pre-COVID, sellers are sending more than twice the amount of emails, more than double the number of emails being sent out there. And I think I get like 80% of these because my inbox is a disaster with people sending me stuff. And in the flip side, the bottom part of that chart, the red line, shows that response rates to those emails are down 35%, right? So this is like one of those something's got to give moments, right? We're in this digital first world. It's not all about just sending more emails and doing more Zoom calls. We got to rethink things, right? Because we're competing with more noise. There's different things we need to worry about. So we need to figure out how we stand out. We need to figure out how we connect, break through that noise, but we also need to figure out how we build these real connections with people and how we thread into accounts where there may be multiple decision makers. Where in the old world, we would have gone and wandered the halls, right? How do we do that digitally? How do we start to plant ourselves so that our videos can wander the digital halls of those businesses and meet different people? Okay, so if you're nodding out there going, yep, we get it, Tyler, response rates are down, got to find new ways. The question becomes, what is video uniquely suited to do? Because you don't want to always use video, right? It's not the only way to do things, but there are some things that is particularly good at. And this is stuff that I've learned just in working with lots of people out there and finding out what's working and what's not. And the first thing is, and we'll talk about this, about how to do this specifically, is how to use video to stand out and get that attention, right? It right now is a pattern disrupt. And again, I'm not talking about booking a Zoom call. I'm talking about showing up in your prospect or customer's inbox with a video, right? You're there, you're smiling, they click play, they interact with you. It is still very new and interesting for people. It stands out from all that other noise, and it shows you're willing to put in that effort. The second thing, of course, is establishing rapport and keeping those personal relationships going. There are so many moments through the sales cycle where you can drip feed your customers short videos that keep your face, that keep your personality, that keep your voice, that keep your brand top of mind, right? But we're also used to like, oh yeah, between calls, we just send emails back and forth, right? And they don't do a lot to build that human connection, but it genuinely can be just as easy to go hit record that message in a video and send it over. And they get to watch you deliver it. They get to hear your voice. You become more memorable in that way. It's just like popping by the office. There's, again, lots of other ways, clearly showing value by actually showing and telling. And then, of course, staying top of mind as you move through a deal cycle and making sure that even when you can't have live meetings or video calls, you're getting your personal brand out there. All right. So, and in addition to that, of course, video can be a great way to send out a congratulations to all of the Bills fans who are apparently out there after they win next weekend. Something like that, right, Mike?
It has turned into a Bills Chief battle in the chat, but that's all right. We're going to stay focused on our sales here, and then we'll save all the trash talking for after the game. It's a lot more fun.
All right, perfect. So let's move on from this. Now, I just want to, before I jump into, I'm like 3 minutes away from like some really specific examples that you're going to want to steal. But I just wanted to frame this up with our friends at Sandler. And you think about this Sandler selling system, which I assume most of you are familiar with. If you're not, like, get in on this and find out. Is the Sandler selling system, talks about all this different process, from the importance of building rapport and bonding early on to creating those upfront contracts, understanding and isolating the pain point, getting budget approved, just all these steps in the sales process. And if you think about, in this world where we can't be meeting people in person as frequently or at all as we used to, the role of video isn't just about bonding and rapport. It actually comes up in all these different areas, right? It can be a critical way in which we get that commitment and create that urgency around those upfront contracts and get people to commit to those ideas because they know you more personally. They are a great way to show and emphasize and understand the pain that's out there. By making sure that we're both aligned. Like, this is what you told me, this is what I'm thinking, let's make sure we're 100% on that. There's all these different areas where video works throughout this methodology and throughout the sales process. Okay, so let's hop right into it and let's get us all on the same level playing field here. And that's going to be the start of my football related metaphors for this session, which is what kind of formats are we talking about here? How is video being used in sales? Now, we all know the first one. We all know live video calls. We're doing it all the time with our customers to stay connected. But the other two are the ones that are new and that are finding different places in the sales cycle to help people get things going. The first one are the personalized video messages. And the idea here is, again, you can use a tool like Vidyard. There are others out there. But with a tool like Vidyard, you literally hit record, you record your webcam, deliver your message, and as soon as you're done, you can drop it, the thumbnail image with a link to watch that video into an email and send it off. Really simple. You're not dealing with video files. You're not uploading to YouTube. Really, really easy. And a personal video message can be a great way to connect with people. It can also be a great way to keep your face front and center. The second thing you can do is custom screen recordings. And more reps are using custom screen recordings as a way both to stand out in different ways when prospecting, but to also reinforce ideas, to show rather than just tell when somebody wants to see how does that actually work, right? They're making custom demos. There's all sorts of ways people are using this, and we're going to talk about it. And by the end of this, and then as you start doing this in the weeks and months ahead, you are going to become adept at video. You're not just going to be like, oh yeah, I can do it. It's like, no. Get in on this, right? Like you want to walk away ready to become a video creator, to say, I can make screen recordings. I can do this. I can trim my videos. I have 4 kids at home and they all think like I'm a YouTube star because like I'm making videos all day long, but it's like super easy, right? So this is the stuff that you guys can be doing.
Tyler, we had a couple of good early questions here that I thought I might just interrupt and ask because I'm sure a lot of people will be wondering about these.
Yep.
Number one is they asked about the virtual backgrounds. You know, a lot of us have gotten used to using the virtual backgrounds. With Vidyard, can we still do that, or should we prep a different space so that we can do that?
I am personally an anti-virtual background guy in general, whether you're on Zoom, whether you're on other things, whether you're using Vidyard. I think it takes away some of the humanity when I see somebody's ear suddenly disappear and come back, and it's distracting. And I think it actually emphasizes the digital divide that we have. So that's the whole other philosophical debate on virtual backgrounds versus not. That said, I totally appreciate that there are times where it's something that you might need. Now, Vidyard as a tool, no, we do not natively support virtual backgrounds yet. It is something we are absolutely thinking about. If you need to use a virtual background, what some people will do is they'll record their video using something like Zoom with a virtual background, because you could actually use Zoom to record a video. And when you're done, they upload that into Vidyard and send it out. So you can use other tools to record your videos if you need things like that. Upload them into Vidyard, send them out, get alerted. We'll talk about that a little bit later as well.
Then I saw another basic question I thought would be great here at the beginning is a lot of people are familiar that firewalls strip videos, or videos can become very large files right away. That's kind of one of the whole points of using a tool like Vidyard. Can you talk a little bit about how we insert those and make sure that large companies can receive them? So
yeah, absolutely. So it's a very important point here is that tools like Vidyard, no, not Vineyard. We're not making wines, folks. Vidyard. There's also, I see commentary. There's tools like Loom that some of you are familiar with. Great tool. There's others out there as well. All of these tools are designed to help you quickly record a video using your webcam or a screen share, and then add into an email or a social message the thumbnail image for that video, which is hyperlinked to a dedicated page where that video plays back. So when you send it as an email, it's like sending any other email with an image and a hyperlink, right? You're not actually attaching a video file. So that's first and most important. And so it will be looked at as any other type of email with an image or a link in it. So there are some other tips and hacks for saying maximizing your chances of making sure it doesn't get caught in spam filters. If you've already started sending messages to that person that are plain text that have gotten through the firewall, that can increase your chance of future messages with images and links getting through. There's little things like that. So I'll provide a couple more tips in about 25 minutes too, Mike. So stay tuned for that.
Perfect. Sounds good. I think that'll be good for now. We can keep moving.
Yep. And if images do get stripped by firewalls, I don't have a magic silver bullet for you. That stuff happens. What you want to do is when you do send videos like this, make sure the link is still accessible, even if the image gets taken away. So that's something that Vidyard does by default as well. Okay. All right, so we get it. We're getting right into it. I'm actually super stoked to hear so many really specific nitty-gritty questions already. People are already starting to do this. So I'm going to talk about the sales process through my head of this sort of linear progression through prospecting to discovery and demos and moving through into proposals. And you can see my little a legend at the bottom, starting at prospecting and moving through. Those big M's are the video, are the actual meetings. And let's start at the very beginning. And I want to give you ideas about how people are using this for prospecting today and what's really working. So the idea of using personalized videos in your outbound prospecting, as we mentioned earlier, is about standing out, is about earning that immediate trust by actually connecting with them as a real person who wants to help them, and using your body language, your intonation, your messaging to create a reason for them to act above and beyond the same old emails and social messages we're sending out. Now, of course, custom videos can be a great way to do this. You can easily record and send them, but I'm just going to start with the example here on the left and tell you why something like this can work well. So you can see an email, you put your message in, and then the thumbnail image for that video gets dropped in. Now below it, you should also have the hyperlink to it in case the image gets stripped. But in the case where somebody does see that image, you can see here what Alana has done. She's prospecting into Evergreen Home Loans. So she's got her trusty little whiteboard with her where she can write a little custom message and hold it up at the beginning of her video. And the reason she does that is when the thumbnail image gets dropped in and you see that as somebody at Evergreen Home Loans, you immediately, like not even a second, we're talking like microseconds, you immediately process that and you know that this video was made for you. And as a result, your expectation of value goes up, right? Compared to like, oh, it's just some random video. It's like, oh, this person made a video just for us. I can tell it's just for us because that's our name right there. Can't fake that. I mean, maybe you can, but she didn't, trust me. And so again, your expectation of value is up. You see a real human there. So again, you know it's a real person and not automated. And all those things click in your mind and help you get a higher response rate. Now, you still have to have a good lead into it and stuff like that. But little tricks like that can work because people do judge books by their cover, and that thumbnail image makes a big difference. Now, when you're sending these videos, when you're making these videos, a few other tips about what I've found to make them really successful. The first is this is your chance to be personal, to be genuine, to be authentic, to be human. Like, lean into that. This isn't the time to read your email script or to read your own voicemail script into the camera, sitting back all buttoned up, right? This is your chance. Like you met somebody in person in line at, the coffee shop, right? All you great sales reps out there, you know how to build relationships, you know how to connect with people, right? If I knew that Mike was a Chiefs fan, then I was reaching out to Mike right about now. You can be sure that the video that landed in his inbox had some kind of Chiefs related product somewhere visual in that. And I'm going to start that video off going, Mike, before I tell you anything else, go Chiefs. I'm also a Chiefs fan, super excited about this weekend. Hope you're going to, can't wait to see what happens. Now, let me talk to you about something. Well, then you use a translate, right? There's little ways like that you can do these things. So be personal, be engaging, be authentic, lean in, use your body language, right? This is your chance. Of course, plan your message ahead of time. Don't freestyle it. Know what you want to say. That's going to help you make sure you can be a one-take wonder and nail your video the first time. Pre-production planning is more important than anything after that. So know what you're going to say. And think about how to use both webcam styles and screen share style videos to your advantage. Webcam style videos for prospecting are a great way to stand out and introduce yourself, to create a little bit more of that human rapport, have yourself kind of full screen, if you will. Screen share videos can actually be a really interesting way to show people different things, to bring something up on the screen that they will recognize, that will relate to them, and will again increase their chances of clicking through. Now, the one on the bottom left of the screen here, that image may not mean anything to you, but this is a gentleman named Matt Hall. He works at a company called Woodway UK. They sell packaging solutions for companies shipping physical goods. And this is a super cool video. I'm going to play it for you. And look, I know none of you, maybe one, sell packaging solutions. So you're not going to be able to watch this and go, oh, I should do exactly that. But think about when you watch this, in just over 60 seconds, Matt, who was prospecting the body shop in this video, just watch how he earns some trust and shows, rather than just tell, he shows without a shadow of a doubt how he could potentially help them. So I'm going to let this play really quick here. Remember, he's prospecting into the Body Shop, the company that makes bath soaps and fragrances, and I love their bath bombs, best in the market. Okay, check this out. Mike's nodding. Yep, he knows. He knows. All right, so I'm just going to play this. Watch and enjoy.
Hi there, Andy. Matt here from Woodway UK. Hope you're well. Andy, getting in touch today because I recently received a package from yourselves at the body shop, and upon unboxing it, realised that actually we at Woodway could do something a little bit different for you, make the packaging more sustainable, make it more effective for your packers when they're packing it, and also make it a better unboxing experience for your customers. So what I've done, me and my colleague have put together this short video of us unboxing the box. So here you have your tissue paper on the top, products in the middle, which were safely intact, which is always a good sign, and then also a little bit of tissue paper on the bottom. And what I did, Andy, is I once I got all the tissue paper out, I unraveled it all just to see how much had actually been used. And as you can see from here, it's about 7 meters, which is quite a bit. So what I want to do is whet your appetite with the red paper on the right hand side. Now that's what I use to safely and securely pack your products back into the box. And if you want to understand how I did that, then click the button at the end of the video that says book a meeting. You can then book a packaging discussion with myself at a convenient time for you, and we can discuss how we did this for you. So I hope you enjoyed the video and look forward to hearing from you soon. Take care.
Did you guys all hear that? I saw one comment, no sound, but I think most of you did. Fantastic. I see some nodding heads. Let me, wow, that makes me crazy curious, right? What happened there? A lot of stuff happened in about 75 seconds. A lot of things. Matt introduced himself. You're like, hey, this seems like a nice, trustworthy guy. He's a real person, understands his business. Seems like he's genuinely in it to help me, right? Like no traditional email could have came through like that. So Matt's good dude, wants to help, get it. Secondly, he put in the effort, right? Like I'm like, wow, he put in the effort. He ordered a package from us to actually see how we did things, to see how and if and how he can help, right? So again, your expectation of working with Matt's gone way up already compared to all that other crap you get from people going, I swear I can help you, and they spell your company name wrong for the love. Finally, he showed you, no doubt in mind. He showed you, here's your tissue paper. Here's ours. Look, it's half the length. I can help you, right? Without a shadow of a doubt. I barely even need to book a demo. I'm like, what does this cost, Matt? let's go. So to me, I was just like, this is so great. As a buyer to get something like this, I know why I want to respond to Matt now. He didn't say hey, I can help you. Let's book a meeting and I'll tell you more, right? It's he showed me, it's wonderful. So again, you're not going to do this exactly yourself, right? You don't sell packaging solutions. You're not going to, specifically do that, but think about in your own world, what could you show your prospects that they'll resonate with, that they'll relate to? For us, sometimes what we'll do, we sell video solutions. In the case of a tool that, enables you to record and send videos, Mike, if I was prospecting you at Sandler, what I might do is I might get on Sandler's email list. So I might go to your website, sign up for something, say, hey, I'd love to learn more. Can the sales rep reach out to me? And then I'd wait to start to get emails from a sales rep, and they'd be all text-based emails. And then I'd pull one of them up on the screen and I'd hit record and I'd go, hey, Mike, does this email look familiar? I got it from one of your sales reps. The messaging's not bad, but boy, does it feel cold. Who is this person? And then I'd pull something up and I go, what if that email looked like this? I just mocked it up with an added video to see the difference it might make. I'd love to chat with you about how to do that, right? And when you see that video with your own email in it, I assume you'd be really curious, be like, wait a minute, is he complaining about an email he got from a rep? What is it? So what do you think, Mike?
I think that's great. And I've watched those samples. I see you got the top video prospecting templates on the screen there. You can find those at vidyard.com. But I went through all these too, researching how to use this. And I love how creative people have been around the world at getting people's attention. So I've seen ones where you pull up the LinkedIn page of the person that you're talking to. And so maybe it's nothing visual. You can show it, you can get their face on there. Well, somebody's going to click on that video and go, what's he saying about me here? And they're at least going to open it and read it. So I think it's a huge pattern interrupt and something different and creative that other people aren't doing. You're right. If they're just sending cold text emails or they're cold calling and leaving a voicemail of, I'd like to decrease your costs and increase your profits for this year, blah, blah, blah. Wouldn't you like to talk to me? It's no, I've heard that.
Right.
So it is a big difference. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and you see here on the screen that there's another screenshot of an example of the video on the bottom is a rep. Her name is Kayla. She's over top of her prospect's LinkedIn profile. She hits record, and she's got this down to a pattern now where she can go to any of her prospects' LinkedIn profile, hit record, and she knows her message. She says, hey there, Yuri, it's Kayla here from Domino Data Lab. Now, I noticed on your LinkedIn profile, right? You've got you build it as the hook, that you're the title here. And I'm actually working with a few other insert title to help them with one big problem they're all having. And that problem is this, I'd love to share a bit more about what I'm actually doing with them. And I can actually show you an example of what one of them just recently did. Would love your feedback on that and see if we can, right? So there's a great way to do that by using the visual to get their attention, but you can tie it into your narrative. So their LinkedIn profile, their website, whatever it is, there's ways that you can do this and be a little bit more creative, which I love as well.
I also saw a guy ripping off the hot wings one where he was eating spicy wings while trying to deliver his pitch as a challenge. I'm not sure how that related, but you can get really creative with these, right?
Well, the one you're referring to is my man, Frank Weschler from Dynamic Signal. And the reason that one related was he was actually prospecting into Buffalo Wild Wings as a company.
Oh, there you go.
And he couldn't get anybody's attention. So he went and bought their hottest wings and he ate it on camera while he did his pitch. And it was the funniest thing you see. He's like welling up, he's crying. He said it went viral in their company because people loved it so much. And yes, he booked the meeting. You can start to be a little bit more creative and interesting. And it's like, hey, if he's willing to put his life at risk and eat our hottest blazing wing, all right, he's committed to helping us and he can do that. All right, so any other questions here? That was kind of the prospecting section. As Mike mentioned, I've got a whole deck of different video prospecting templates that, the LinkedIn hover, going over their website, going over one of their press releases, videos like that. If you're interested in those templates, just connect with me on LinkedIn and send me a little note saying, hey, can you send me those video prospecting templates? And I'll fire it over to you. Any other big questions before we move on, or should we hop into the next part here, Mike?
I think we can keep rolling. I did see some questions there. Again, kind of technical ones, like can you use it on an iPhone? And do you support closed captioning translations? How do you deal with that kind of stuff? Anything you want to hit there just as kind of big things so people aren't thinking about it?
Yeah, let me just put a baseline to get those things out of the way. So with Vidyard, you can record in your browser. You can record your full screen as well. There's also mobile apps that you can record videos on your phone, on your tablet. They all connect to the same account, so you can record them and send them all in the same way. The free version allows you to record as many videos as you'd like. The videos play back on a Vidyard branded page, and because we still need to run a business here. And they do not support closed captions or having custom calls to action. The paid version, we have a pro product that's a monthly $15. And then there's enterprise versions if you're rolling out to a team. Those, the enterprise version does include the ability to do closed captioning in your videos, to add custom calls to actions to your videos, and lots of other neat things like that. So if there's any other technical questions about Vidyard, feel free to head over to the chat on our site, or maybe we'll have time at the end to share a little bit more.
And then I heard you say one other thing that I'd like to highlight, because when I was looking into this, it really jumped out to me, is you said that that video kind of went viral within the company.
Yeah.
And I think you shared some stats with me that a lot of times penetration and landing and expanding inside a large enterprise account, if you're doing B2B, is a huge deal. That you might have sent that video to one person, but you look a week later and you have stats that you can measure on this, that 80 people watched that video.
Yeah.
So the one person didn't watch it over 80 times, but you hit a lot more of the decision makers in the process. That to me is also huge. So besides getting their attention, you're getting to people that you wouldn't have gotten with a text email, most likely.
Yeah, it's so important. And actually, I'll talk about that as part of some of the other videos through the process now, because, we can hop into that of like, okay, you've got the meeting booked, you've got somebody into that, you've done your discovery, and now you're starting to use video throughout the rest of the process. And this is actually where starting to make more friends and connecting with more people and getting them to meet you, whether or not you meet them, becomes really, really important. So I'll just go to the next sort of stage of the buying journey here. And these are the live meetings, right? So we booked that discovery call. Of course, all of you are getting on a video call with them, not just voice, and you're turning your camera on. Now, There's lots of questions about this of what if they don't turn their camera on? Don't ask them to. What's most important is that they're comfortable, they're confident, they feel good. And if you ask them or encourage them, hey, can you turn your camera on, please? It might be awkward. So let them take the lead on what they're going to do, but you should always have your camera on. I encourage you in these meetings, like any, be overly prepared, especially with a video call. If you're going to be walking through something, showing something, have all the tabs ready, have all the pages preloaded. Don't leave it up to the the whim of the internet for things loading. Every second counts. And finally, this one's really important, and this is how you think about how you can use other videos and content throughout the rest of your process. Is your live meeting times. Every second is precious. Don't spend time doing things that you can send them afterwards as a follow-up, or that you can prescribe to them ahead of the call in an assignment selling mentality. So for example, if there is a very common capability of your solution, or a very typical question you get on every discovery call or every demo, instead of waiting for the call to talk about it, record a quick video, show them, answer it, and send it to them ahead of time and say, you know what, I'm looking forward to our call on Thursday. If you wouldn't mind, I would love for you to watch this 4-minute video where I answer the 2 most common questions I get so that we're better prepared and we can make the most of every minute of our call. And so they watch that video ahead of time, and it gets ahead of that and helps you be most efficient on these live video calls. So just one example there about how you can sort of rethink even the steps around that live call to make your live calls way more efficient. Okay. Now, let me talk about these other little dots between these calls. And this is where I also get really excited. It's not just about prospecting. Now we're in this deal cycle. And I've got a story to share called the $700,000 video from another rep who ended up closing a $700,000 deal because of a video he made. And stay tuned because I'm going to tell you exactly what that video was towards the end. But the idea here is at any point in your process, you can be easily recording and sending videos to deliver important information, stuff you may have traditionally just done via email, or things you may have been waiting for that live call to do because you wanted to do it personally, right? But by recording and sending a video, you can still have that human touch. You can still narrate the message, but you can let them watch it on their own time and not wait for that next call. So there's lots of ways people are using this. I hear all the time, people are using quick videos before a meeting and after a meeting. So the before the meeting is the quick reminder. And it's not just the email. It's like, hey, it's me here. Really looking forward to our call. We're going to walk away with these 3 things, and it would be great if you can come prepared for this, right? And just having them watch that video reinforces you're a real human, increases your likelihood they're going to show up. The post-meeting reinforcement video, right? This is where we often send bullet points in an email. We agreed to this, right? Maybe make a quick slide with those bullet points, hit record and speak to it. Because again, if they then share that around with other people who may not have been on the call, this is your chance for them to meet you. And that's that like walking the digital halls idea, right? Because you're going to follow up and you're going to go, really great call. This is what we talked about. These are the next steps. Can't wait to meet these people. Would love for you to send this around to any other stakeholders that need to know. And those people are going to see you. They're going to watch that video. They're literally going to meet you, right? Some of those people you will never meet, but they've met you, and that makes all the difference. The other thing, thank yous, right? Like those things go along with write thank you on a whiteboard and go, hey, just wanted to say a really genuine thank you for taking so much time today to talk about your problems and how we can help, right? Those sorts of things. Custom demos are one that also get me fired up. And not all of you necessarily are product or software companies, but there are always going to be those moments where your customers have questions about what the heck do you actually do? Can I see it? Can you explain it a little bit more clearly? And we've traditionally been conditioned to say, yeah, you know what? Let's talk about it over a call, right? Let's do a demo, blah, blah, blah. But imagine this power in saying, you know what? Let me show you here. I'm going to hit record. I'm going to walk through it, and I'm going to tailor this just for you. So I'm not using an off-the-shelf demo because I don't have the ability to tailor that to you, but I'm confident enough that I can hit record. I can pull up my screen and I can walk you through a capability of our solution. And I'm going to send that video over to you. It might be 3 minutes. It might be 10 minutes, depending on how long it's warranted. Now that video you send them with a quick demonstration, again, is something that they can watch on their own time. It reinforces the fact that you're willing to do this stuff. You're willing to put the effort in. But again, they may very well share that around with other stakeholders that need to see that. Again, people who may never get on the live call. And I love that about these shareable videos. In fact, I hear sellers who are, after they do a live demo call, right? It might be 30 to 60 minutes. After the call, they'll block off 15 to 30 minutes to then record a summary version of that and send that video over instead of saying, hey, here's a recording of the hour-long Zoom call in case anybody else wants to watch it, right? How many of those people actually watch that hour-long Zoom recording? It's like, it's a big fat donut, right? Like, but if you took the time afterwards and you went, hey, I wanted to just, great call. Sounds like these were the 3 big things you were interested in. So I made you this quick video to recap those points, to show you one of those in a little bit more detail. And you can share this around to folks who weren't able to make the call, right? And it's just like, yeah, some people be like, it's like too much work or it's not worth it. And I'm like, if for a key prospect, 30 minutes of your time to do something like that can actually go a long way. Once you're into that, mode of saying, I can do this, it becomes really achievable. The problem for most people is like that idea of making a custom video is just like too much. But I'm telling you, you can do it. Like, it's really, really simple. And the last
there's a couple of things. I'll just jump in real quick there, because I think there's a couple of things that are cool. One is I had somebody in the chat talk about those auto commercials where you're turning into your parents. There are people that feel like technology maybe is not for them, that they're older or they're just not tech savvy, and they go, the video seems harder. But what I've found is the opposite is actually true. Yes. That recording a video is easier than typing out a 300-word email and spell checking and getting all that right. And then you got to find the links and other stuff. That this is not something that is beyond the skill set of most people, right?
Mike, I want to like reach through and hug you for saying that, because I'm like, I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, it is the opposite, because you can hit record. Like, yes, your first 20 videos are going to feel really weird and they're going to suck. And your next 20 videos are going to be like, I don't know. But I'm telling you, once you it's like cold calling, it's like anything else, right? And once you've done it enough, it just becomes second nature. And I hear it time and again from reps, Mike, this has become easier and faster to do than typing out an email. And they've totally flipped the way that they communicate. Now they're like video first, email second. And then you start to worry, but you're like, well, wait a minute, do my customers really want to watch my videos? But this is where you just get good at it. And you go, yeah, I got to be respectful of their time. If I'm sending them over 10-minute movies every day, like that's not respectful of their time. But there are all these moments where I can send these micro messages that really work. And people also get worried about like, well, will they watch the videos? Is like millennials, they'll watch them. But like I target, CFOs, and they're security conscious, and they're an older demographic, and there's all these excuses. But what you forget is this important, like last point, is like, they're freaking human. They're real people, right? They like to interact with real people. They look to the human face to establish trust. They learn a lot from your body language and your intonation. And if you give them a reason to watch, they will. If you don't give them a reason to watch, they won't. But if you give them a reason to watch, right? Mike, I know you're interested in this, but I really had to show it to you because seeing is believing. So here's just a 3-minute video to see that. Check it out, right? Like they'll watch that. And it doesn't matter what the demographic is.
And then I heard also people with a couple of good questions around, we're talking about a lot of different places you can use video. This is a new tool, and I feel like any new tool for salespeople, they tend to abuse, right? We invented the phone and like, let's cold call everybody. Let's set up telemarketers and robots to blast people, and then social media and everything else that's followed. So can you talk a little bit about how, it's basic restraint, and I think, common knowledge for salespeople, especially Sandler trained salespeople on this call know, is you don't just blast unwanted video messages to everybody you can think of. You're using these strategically at key points. And are there certain points in the sales process where it makes more sense to use video, or how many are we talking about in a typical kind of average sale length?
Yeah, I mean, it's a great question, and everybody's going to find their own use of it, right? So some people, I brought up Thomas here. He's the one who sent the $700,000 video. And he's a perfect example of somebody who this has become habitual for him. And he's dropping videos, about half the time when he's sending emails, about half the time they include a quick video to explain something or whatnot. So, he's sending them all throughout the process. And he, his video analytics, over the last year, he sent over 1,000 videos. Right. And you think like, geez, making 1,000 videos, that's crazy. But the reality is, how many emails did you send? Right? You probably sent 10,000 emails last year. And so it's actually not a big deal. Now, but to your point, you always got to put yourself in the shoes of the buyer and go, am I adding value here by sharing a video? Does it either help me create a more personal connection for both of us, right? Because it's valuable on both sides to be more connected. Am I using it to visually show something where it will help their understanding? Or again, is it something where I can be genuine and make them like a thank you video, a congratulations video that genuinely I can only deliver that well in person? And those are the things you should be mindful of. And always look for ways to say, could this be better delivered through a video? It's not always, right? Absolutely not. Like sometimes like, I'm just going to shoot this over, do it. But there are those moments. And that's when like you can put a sticky note on your monitor and go, would a video be better? Right. And just like be mindful of it and go, oh yeah, you know what? Cool. I could totally use it. And you'll find out your own rhythm. Now, there are some general best practices that I'll just lay down for you folks. One is for outbound prospecting specifically, which is kind of a contained thing. The data that we've seen out there, both ourselves and different partners out there, suggests that if you're doing outbound prospecting and you have, let's say, a 15 to 20 touch sequence that you're going through, and those include emails, phone calls, social connects, and such, which is common for a lot of people, at least in B2B tech sales. The best practice that we've seen is to use 3 videos throughout that 15 to 20 touch sequence, right? All the rest are still phone calls, social touches, and other things. There's a video early on in that process, usually with a webcam to connect more personally. There may be then a screen share video around day 10, where you are showing them something or putting up their LinkedIn profile or whatnot. And then one more video later on, closer to the end, as one final kind of making sure you're reconnecting and adding value. So that's just an example of what we've seen in terms of ratio of videos to not. Now that's for prospecting. For the rest of the sales cycle, again, it really depends on how you sell, what you do, what your customers expect. But I really encourage you to be really mindful of how can I use this to reduce my dependency on live meetings to show things? And it's a really powerful concept, right? Like, cause we grew up as sellers being so focused on the meeting, right? It's like the meeting, and at the end of the meeting, we book the next meeting. And at that meeting, it's the next meeting, and the meeting gets canceled. We find a new meeting, and it's like a Seinfeld episode about the meeting, right? And of course we want that, but people expect different these days. And so you say like, how can I reduce my dependency on live meetings, but still be connected, be human, be memorable? And that's where these sorts of things start to work. So there's no simple answer to it, but you'll find your own way. And I think depending on your business, those are some of the principles to be mindful of. This is my favorite. Okay, I told you I'd tell you about the $700,000 video. So Thomas Buchanan, the guy up here on the screen, he's a boss. He's an account executive at a company called Modus. And he's been using video for years. And over the last 12 months, he really got disciplined about his approach. And you can see here, he sends all sorts of different styles of videos throughout. There's a quote on here because there was this really interesting moment, and it goes back to this idea of like using video as the new way to wander the halls. Is he looked back at his data from the last year and he realized he sent over 1,000 videos. And he had more than 500, it was 540 unique viewers. So each time a video gets watched, Vidyard cookies that person and identifies them as a unique individual viewer. So he knows there were 800 views of his videos, 540 of those were unique people. And he reflected on that and he said to me, Tyler, you know what's interesting about that is I didn't meet 500 people across my accounts this year. Like in video calls and meetings, I met less than 100 realistically, because he does large enterprise deals, does about 10 maybe deals a year. So he only met 50 to 100 people, but he said, Tyler, more than 500 people at those accounts met me. They watched my videos. And he's like, it's actually a really powerful concept. Now the video, the $700,000 video for him, ladies and gentlemen, can I get a drum roll, please? A drum roll. It wasn't this really creative prospecting video. It wasn't an epic demo. It was a thank you video. And you know what he did? So there was a moment with an existing customer that something happened. There was a great milestone, or they committed to something, or whatever it is. And he said, I want to say thanks to these guys. So he didn't just record himself. He actually fired up a Zoom call with about 30 people across the company, including their executives. And he recorded that Zoom call. And all it was he said, hey, folks at this company, I just wanted, myself, I brought the team from Modus here together to say a very big, everybody 1, 2, 3, thank you. And they all say thank you. And they all do thumbs up and something like that. And then he downloaded that recording and sent it over. And within like an hour of sending it, that person at that account calls him up, says, Thomas, that was amazing. I sent it around a bunch of other people. And by the way, I've got another opportunity to talk to you about in another part of our business. And that turned into an expansion opportunity that ended up being a nearly $1 million deal. Now, would that deal have happened if he hadn't sent that video? Maybe. You could even say probably. But he got there through all these micro videos that built those relationships. And that trigger moment was a very simple but very fun and interesting thing where they all said thank you. And yes, that video got viewed by more than one person. It got shared around, one of those sort of shareable moments. And it's just the little things, right? So now that's part of his thing, right? He's like, anytime there's a key thing, he's sending that thank you video as a way to rekindle a conversation. That's it, right? Doesn't have to be too complicated. All right, I've got a little bit more content after this, if people can handle it. I know we've gone through a lot, but on how to be great on video for those that are still like, I want to make sure I'm really great. But before I do that, Mike, are there any other questions from yourself or comments on this idea of video through the rest of the sales process?
There are. So I'll summarize those in the chat. First of all, I think we have like 1,000 people on the line, so you don't all have to share your emails publicly there. We'll just send the templates to everybody following up. I've tried to let everybody know that a few times, but that way we can save the chat for the questions. But I appreciate all the interest for sure. I love what you said about the thank you. And I think one of the things that I've seen is celebrating the client, right? So when they make a decision or you had a great meeting, is say, hey, I just want to let everybody know at ABC Company that Tyler was awesome today. Here you go, and send that out. Those are the things that get viral and shared and get people's attention, right? And you're getting in front of them too. But when you're doing it in the other person's best interest, that's when it becomes really powerful and shareable. And it's not, oh, let me tell you the 874 reasons to buy my stuff.
Yeah.
It's that simple moment of a thank you and somebody else is awesome, or here's how it works to help you. That's what makes it really powerful. So you mentioned the stats on those two, and we had a couple of questions around the stats. I've seen really great stuff from independent parties, even like our other partner Gong, where they say video anywhere in the process increases your closes of sales. They've seen up to 80%. In one company, it was over 800% because they were in an old school industry that was really doing old like emails and bad stuff.
Yep.
But do you have any general stats around success of video, versus other approaches?
Yeah, it's difficult to have one set because a lot of people use it in different ways. But what I can tell you as like some real hard-hitting industry stats, one is SalesLoft, who is a company who's a sales engagement platform. And their customers are all people, they're typically sales development reps, business development reps who are doing outbound prospecting. And they did an analysis of all the different sales cadences run through their system. It was like, hundreds of millions of emails. And they found through that first party data analysis that cadences with video had a 26% higher response rate on average than those without video. And that the peak performance of where they saw the biggest delta in terms of videos having an impact were on between days 2 and 15 of that sales cadence. So they said, if videos were added on the first day or the 30th day, not much of an impact, but those when videos were added between those days, they saw incremental lift. So that's just a statistical analysis of real world data, which is interesting.
Anecdotally, can you talk a little bit about the stuff that you measure too? So I think that's good, but there's a couple other questions that I want to get to, and I'm going to put you on the spot. Yeah. So we talked about this earlier. I don't know if you're ready or not, but a lot of people are asking how Vidyard helps in that. So I'd like to see you do one, but can you edit the video at all afterwards or blur stuff out? And can you maybe show what it's measuring on the stats? Because there were several questions around what are we tracking? Can we see who opens it and how many times and that kind of.
Great question, because I totally glossed over that. And in fact, it might even be, here's the like Vidyard slide. So that we'll talk to that a little bit. I'll just leave it up as we talk to it. So when you send a video to somebody via Vidyard, we will then track whether or not that person clicks on the video and how long they watch that video. So with the free version, I'll make sure that we're hyper clear for people. So with the free version, if I send Mike a video, he watches it, I'll get a notification saying someone watched your video. This was the video and whatnot. So I'll get a basic notification that someone watched my video. With the paid and the enterprise version, you'll be told, oh, Mike Montague watched your video and he watched it 75% of the way through. With the enterprise version, you can also have all that data flow back into Salesforce or HubSpot or a couple of other CRMs. And in that case, now you can centrally be tracking all that data and ultimately eventually doing more and more reporting around how are these videos actually helping us, reduce deal cycles or to create pipeline or whatever it happens to be. And you can build custom reports on that and do, we push in custom objects so you can get really granular in the data depending on what you want to do with it. You can also start to see from the management dashboard on the back end, as an administrator, you can create reports to see your different reps. So if you are a team leader, you can see which reps are sending how many videos, what's their average engagement time in those videos, and things like that. So you can use it for coaching and for understanding what's going on in your teams. So those are some of the baseline fundamentals. When you do record a video, we don't provide heavy duty editing capabilities, but we do give you the ability to trim. So if you start your video and you're like looking off camera or something like that, you can trim the front and back once you're done recording. You can customize the title, and you can also customize your thumbnail image. And this is where you can select any static image from your video as your thumbnail. You can create an animated GIF from any part of your video. And that's where, again, at the beginning, I might do a little bit of movement, turn that into an animated GIF so it stands out. Or you can even upload your own photo to use as the thumbnail image for it. So that's what Vidyard enables you to do. We do not have integrated tools for blurring or virtual backgrounds or things like that. I will end that with a yet. They're all things that we are actively looking at. But again, you can also use other tools to record your videos, upload them into Vidyard as a way to send and track them. So again, lots of flexibility there. And again, if anybody wants to check it out or try it out or get more details, just let us know. We'll walk you through it.
So, this is the interesting part for everybody is I'd like to put you on the spot to do one, to open up Vidyard and show us how you record one. And hopefully we don't mess up the camera. This is the juggler where we're going to wait and see if you drop the ball, Tyler. But I was thinking maybe for content, I've seen this question several times, is people have seen your competitors. So I don't want to shout out all their names, but it's like a bad law firm, Loom, Vidyard, and BombBomb.
No,
can you talk a little bit about how those are different in different video products on the market? Just maybe in your video, tell us why Vidyard is different than the other stuff.
Yeah, totally. Okay, I'll show it in a second here. Let me just address that, and then I'll show you guys sort of how the tool actually works. Great. But so to address that question, so Vidyard, Loom, BombBomb, those are some of the most common you see here. I believe we all offer free tools that you can use to get going, get started. Vidyard is unique in that with the free version, unlimited videos, all those videos can be up to an hour long in length. There's no real limitations on it. Some of the other ones pose some limitations, but they all allow you to do the same fundamentals. Record a video with your webcam or screen, have that video hosted on its own custom page, be able to share that video and have somebody watch it. I believe the others will also give you some degree of notifications or some tracking on watch of those videos. Vidyard absolutely does. So the basic versions of all of them are going to check all the same boxes. Where Vidyard really shines is, there's a few different areas, but in particular, we integrate natively into a variety of different sales tools. So if you are using something like a SalesLoft, an Outreach, Mixmax, VanillaSoft, Vidyard plugs right into all those, so you can record and send right from those tools. You don't have to go out of those tools to use it. And then on the back end, we also integrate natively into Salesforce. We are the only ones that offer that. And that's where you get all of that ongoing tracking of who's watching my videos in a central place, so you can do the reporting and analysis afterwards. One of the other really important things is for those of you that now look at and say, okay, I've got 3 reps, 5 reps, 20 reps, 100 reps in our team, and we want to roll this tool out across. This is where Vidyard really, really shines, is we are built as a business and enterprise solution. We've grown up on that. We've been around for over 10 years. Most of the others are only a few years old, and they're point solutions for just recording videos. So Vidyard is an enterprise grade solution. We have Fortune 500s who use us, and we have all the ability back there to manage all of your users. We have all the security and compliance requirements, but we also allow you to host and manage other videos and share them across your teams. Again, create dashboard reporting of your different team members, things like that. So when it comes to running it across a team, that's a big area where we really shine, and we help it be done, securely and effectively in an organization. So hopefully that gives you a decent sense. But again, for the free versions of these, you can try different tools and see what makes the most sense for you.
Yeah, go check it out. And I think we got the rest of it there. I have one more question for you, but let's do it, and then we'll we'll drop over there for the wrap up of just a few basic tips. I think that that a lot of people will ask here.
All right, perfect. So I am having a wonky issue where I'm not seeing my little sharing bar anymore. So I'm trying to switch sharing, but I'm going to try to find it here as I go. Apologies for that.
Probably at the top. I think I can stop your sharing and then start it again.
Oh, that might be good.
There we go.
It's so weird. My Zoom bar has flown away. Oh, there we go. Oh, perfect. It's back. Thank you, Mike. Perfect. So I will share my other screen here just really quickly in the last couple minutes to give you a sense for how this works. Okay, I brought up your website as just a landing point to work from here. So as you can see in the top of my browser here, there's a little Vidyard button. You can see 10 plus is my notification count, but it acts as a Chrome plugin, which makes it really easy to record a video wherever you happen to be. So I just click on the little Vidyard button, and it is going to give me a drop down where I can now select, do I want to record a video using my camera? Do I want to record a screen share with my camera as well? I'm going to get a lot of Tylers going on right now, so beware. Or do I want to record my full screen? I can choose my camera, my mic, and so on. You can actually see here, there's speaker notes as well. I just sent a video to like a bunch of people as a fun one. So I put all their names in here where I was like, hey, Mary, Samantha, Kayla, Thomas, Dan, Brian, Jim. Ben. So you can put speaker notes in there as you need to. So I'm going to just record a quick video here. You hit start recording. Beware, my camera is being used in multiple places, so fingers crossed. But you get your little countdown and you start recording. So you'll probably see a little bit of lag because my camera is in multiple places, but you record your message. Hey, it's Tyler here. Mike, really excited. Thanks so much for the opportunity to present on the webinar today. Hope everybody learned a bunch of great things. You can restart if you screwed up, or you just hit stop. And once that video is ready, once you hit stop, it drops you onto the quote unquote edit page for that video. And this is where you can customize it if you'd like. You can set your title for the video. It'll render there's my beautiful default thumbnail image because I wasn't looking right. It will load in here. You can choose your custom thumbnails. And you can see here again, because I am on the enterprise version, I can caption my video. I can also do other great things with it, but you can see here, I can choose an animated thumbnail. I can customize it, whatever I want to do.
And you can download that and you can grab a link to it too. So if you wanted to send that over text message or something rather than email, you can also copy the link to the video.
Yeah, so so right up here, I can copy the link. I can copy the link and the thumbnail. So that's where I just paste it into an email and send it off. With the pro version and the enterprise version, I can also actually download the video if I did want to like share it natively on social or something else. It's just another nice perk of it. In the business version as well, I can also select different calls to actions that I want for my videos. So what a lot of reps will do is at the end of their videos, they'll have a default call to action where their calendaring tool pops up. And so they'll say in their videos, you know, at the end of this, if you want to book a meeting, my calendar will pop right up. And right at the end of the video, sure enough, their Calendly comes up or their Chili Piper or whatever, and somebody can just book a meeting. So all sorts of neat things like that you can do as you start to get more sophisticated with it.
Awesome. I really appreciate it, Tyler. A whole bunch of tips today. We hit a whole lot. So a round of applause. Thank you. I see you guys throwing the thumbs up out there. Again, the two links is vidyard.link/Sandler or sandler.com/sell. If you want more information on Sandler, you can reach out to your local Sandler trainer and they can get in contact with the Vidyard representatives and help you figure that out. Do some additional training on what you say in those videos. That's where Sandler definitely comes in handy. And when you can use those as tactics and tools and set good upfront contracts, ask good questions and get good engagements and craft the killer 30-second commercial. So I think we're down to about 30 seconds here, Tyler, but really quick, and maybe we can hang out for some questions too, but really quick, best tips for making great videos. It probably doesn't matter on the equipment, but you want to make sure the light's in front of you. Yep. The background doesn't have anything annoying, that we're both kind of shoulders and, or at least elbows and up. Anything else for great videos? The
really important thing is create a space at your home office. I see many of you at home offices. Just have it set up as a space where when you hit that, you know, I'm live button, right? Whether you're on a video call or recording a Vidyard video, that you feel good about it, that it feels like, oh, I'm in my studio, I'm in my element. And that's where you've got to have, by default, having a camera that's eye level. As soon as you turn it on, you're ready to rock. Don't worry about the quality of your camera as much as lighting and audio. Lighting and audio are actually more important. So if you've got $100 to spend, I would buy a $50 microphone and a $50 ring light. And I wouldn't worry about enhancing your camera. Start there, but have a space where you feel good about being on camera, and it'll make such a difference in terms of your, ability and your energy when creating videos.
And everybody looks sexier with the smile and with the camera above their eye line. Those two things are very important when going on camera, for sure, especially for that thumbnail preview. Is you start with the smile when the countdown goes 3, 2, 1.
Right.
You start with the smile, you get a great looking picture, and then you can start your video so it doesn't catch you in that mid word face, right?
Yep, spot on, my friend.
Awesome, guys. Thanks for coming out. This will wrap up the official program here. We'll hang out and see if there's any other questions in the chat. Tyler, can you hang on for a couple more minutes if people want?
I'm good to hang in here. Yeah, so we'll hang on. But anybody who's dropping, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Yep, really appreciate it. Thanks for coming, everybody.
All right.
That's done, Tyler. I really enjoyed it. Anything that we missed or we didn't get to?
No, I think we covered a lot of ground. I'd say, yeah, some people are saying, we've got faces for radio, all that kind of stuff. And it's back to your point there of, we're all on the same level playing field now. Like, expectations of people changed a lot, even in the last year. We're all on Zooms every day now, thanks to the news, the BBC guy who had his kid run in during that famous scene on BBC News, like that democratized simple, authentic video for all of us, which is great. So don't overthink it. And again, if you really don't like how you look or feel on camera, use a screen share video with your face in the corner. It's a very different feeling for you. And there's lots of ways you can still create videos like that and use your voice.
Awesome. So the free version, we can't share those over LinkedIn, or we only get 5 different embed codes. Can you talk a little bit about the restrictions there of how we can use the free version?
So to clarify what that actually means. So with the free version, you can record as many videos as you'd like, and all of them have their own dedicated link to watch it on their dedicated page. You can share that link as many times as you want. So on something like LinkedIn, you just copy paste the link to the video in a LinkedIn message, and it will actually automatically bring up the thumbnail image for you. It works really, really well. So that works fabulously. The 5 embeds is just for those of you who actually want to record videos with Vidyard or upload videos and embed them on your websites as like embedding a YouTube video or something, because we didn't talk about it here, but Vidyard's also a full-blown video hosting platform for marketing teams. So a lot of us use this on both sides. So if you are wanting to use it for hosting videos on your website, that's where you get 5 embeds for free. But for all the use cases we talked about here, ignore that. You can record and send as many videos as you want. You can copy the links and paste them anywhere you want and have at it.
And we will share the recording of this presentation with everybody that was on today, as well as those templates. I'll get those from Tyler and make sure we get those emailed out with the recording to everybody. I saw somebody saw that it integrates with Slack. Can you, and they asked if it were going to include Teams or anything else here shortly. How would you use it internally in Slack, or that for external Slack? What's that?
No, 100%. I mean, Mike, what we talked about here, like Vidyard really is a general purpose tool that you can record and share a video. Like I use it to send happy birthday videos to my mom, right? It's like you can use it any way you want. So a lot of people do also use it internally for recording and sending a video to a colleague or to your team or providing an update. So the example of our Slack integration is right inside of Slack. When you're about to type that big long message, you go, you know what? I could better say it through a video. You just hit you type /Vidyard, and then it'll immediately pop up and say, record a webcam or screen share, you record your video, and it automatically drops it into that Slack chat. So lots of use cases for it. And again, I encourage you to think about it in that way. It's not just about external. You can use it so many different ways.
And that, we do training here at Sandler. I think we send tips a lot. Even our CEO, David Mattson, sends an internal video every Friday to our teams that we send out. And it does just make a lot more sense to hear it from somebody, get that smiling face, get the tone, then type out this long memo. And it's like, here's our company updates of all the memo that half the people don't open and read anyway. Right. So
and
they can
especially right now, Like when most people are remote and you're not actually seeing those people on a day-to-day basis, like especially now those video-based updates where it's, yeah, hey team, like here's what's going on, or here's an update on this. Or even to like reduce the amount of live time we're spending on Teams and Zoom. It's like half those meetings are usually somebody presenting stuff where we're like, oh, could have been an email or could have been a video ahead of time. Like record the presentation material ahead, let somebody watch it, and then join that team meeting and just focus on conversation. Like get us off the live video calls. We're all getting fatigued.
All right. And then I'll circle back one more. Somebody missed the prospecting earlier, but do you have, you shared a couple of your favorites, like holding up a whiteboard or other things. If somebody wanted to get started with their team in prospecting and use it to get people's attention, any other tips that we missed about, cold contacts or unique pattern interrupts to get people's attention?
Yeah, I think one of the things we've seen people do successfully is if you are, prospecting somebody and you take that time to record a video, do something unique that, is about them to be a bit of a pattern disrupt, send it over via email, but don't just end there, right? Go, okay, they haven't responded to that. So what I might do is if I'm connected with them on LinkedIn or frankly not, I'll send them a message on LinkedIn saying, hey, Tyler from Vidyard here. I sent you a quick video to your inbox because I wanted to share a really cool idea with you. Would love your feedback on it if you get a chance. And then I would make a phone call. My next phone call to them, my voicemail is going to say, hey, it's Tyler from Vidyard here. I made you a quick video yesterday to show you something that I thought might be really interesting. Would love your feedback on that if you can get a chance. Just check your inbox. The video's in there, right? Like if you got a voicemail where somebody from business world said, I made you a video and send it to your inbox, you'd be like, what is this? Like, am I 20 years in the future? Right? It's like, the reality is really easy, but nobody's doing it. Right? So I think those are the things of like, make a great video, send it, but then that can become a center of gravity for other avenues to say, yep, made you a video. I made you a video. And when they see that message enough, they're likely going to go in and see, all right, what's this about? Let's meet this person.
All right, gang, 250 of you hang on for the bonus time. I really appreciate it. Again, I'm Mike Montague with Sandler Training. That's Tyler Lessard at Vidyard. Thanks for hanging out with us. We'll catch you again. Reach out to any of us on the links, and we'll continue to help you from here. But appreciate you hanging in till the end. Have a great week. Good luck. Good selling.
Thanks, Mike.